Hey everyone, how's it going? This is Pete Ciotti with the Grit Podcast. This is the Grit Podcast relaunch as we are now in this beautiful studio space and not on Zoom anymore, at least for the time being. And so I'm really stoked to have my buddy, my running companion, my friend here, Damian Morton. How you doing, Damian?
Good. That's a great intro.
Isn't it?
I like that.
Isn't it?
That was good. That was really good.
Oh man, so we're going to talk all things business, we're going to talk all things running and all those magical things that we've been up to lately. So you took over Fin and Feather Pet Shop in Eureka how long ago?
End of 2022.
Okay.
So
okay.
going, yeah.
And you worked there before then?
Yeah, for like six years or so.
For 6 years?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Long time.
Nice. So what made you want to just take it over? You just kind of felt like you knew what you're doing, or?
I think I was just kind of like at a stuck spot in my life, and I was like,
Okay.
I just need to figure out like something to do. I'd been doing it for so long that I thought I knew what I was doing.
Yeah.
And then of course I had a child, and so that kind of like solidified that like it's a cool family workspace. And so it kind of just stuck. The previous owner was trying to get out, and like I said, I was just trying to find something super long term.
That's cool. Yeah, babies will do that.
Oh,
Families will
with
do
the
that.
quickness.
Yeah. And you guys kind of revamped and retooled it a little bit, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I tried to keep like all the bare bones the same. It's been there since the 60s, and so I just wanted to kind of keep it like a pet store, but just at least bring it up to at least the 2000s.
Nice.
So,
That's cool.
Yeah, same bare bones, but definitely a lot different than what it was.
Yeah. Yeah, I know when we talk a lot, you're like talking about like dog food conventions that you go to and all this other stuff. So there's a lot too, like being a pet store owner.
Yeah, like I said, I thought I knew what I was doing, like I said before, but I kind of just knew like the retail side of it. I didn't really know like the business side of it, and so huge learning curve over the past couple of years. But yeah, there's a lot that goes into it for sure.
Yeah, it's like a crash course in business. It's like
it is. Yeah, you just fail, and then you try it again, you fail again, you try it again, and finally it sticks.
Right. Yep, we talk about failure a lot. Like, it's not the end. It's like a big learning moments, and luckily you can rebound and keep it going and stay afloat. I mean, running a local business is really hard.
It is, yeah, especially one that's been there for so long. Like people have expectations of it to be, the same, what they're used to, what they're comfortable with. And so it's just like baby steps of making it better, but yeah, same bare bones for sure.
Bringing into the modern era too, which is tough, yeah.
Well, I mean,
you guys seem to have like a lot of really great positive reviews on Google, and people are really talking about it, and it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's so community based. That's like the biggest thing. Like I would say that's my biggest takeaway from it is it's so community based. It's like you can't go anywhere without seeing a customer or seeing, a family friend now because of the shop. And so super community based. Always
That's awesome.
It's one of the, like I love it because people with their pets are normally happy, It's like 99% of the clientele at the shop is always happy,
But you also have a few crazy stories that happen. I've heard many of them, like where people just drop off their pets in the middle of the night, and you wake up, you show to work, and all of a sudden there's a box full of puppies or a lizard that you have to rescue or something.
Oh yeah, I would say like the most recent one was like a 5-foot tegu that we just kind of got to the shop, and it was dropped off at the door. And long story short, after housing it and taking it to the vet and everything, we ended up taking it to a rescue down south. And so, yeah, there's always something,
Yeah.
Pre-COVID, it was a lot more frequent, but I would say like now it's mellowed down a little bit.
Yeah, so people, please don't drop off your animals to Damian. It's not a rescue mission, although he will find a way.
Drop them off at Pete's house.
Yeah, drop them off at my house. I'll give you the address after the show. Yeah, right. I have plenty of dogs, by the way. I can't take any more dogs. I'm
3
sad.
dogs?
Yeah, there's 3 dogs in our house. It's crazy. The cat ran off because of the dogs. So the cat lives in the neighborhood. He probably has like 4 owners. So whatever. I've seen him all the time, and he's like super fat, and he eats like probably 4 meals a day.
Right.
So he's better off.
Living his best life.
Yeah, living his best life for sure. So let's fast forward from there. So you've had that business going. And so you started running. You're pretty new like me. You're pretty new to running. Like I've been running about the same amount of time, about 2 years.
For sure.
Like where did that come from? Where did that just come out of nowhere one day? You're like, all right, I'm going to run. Where was that moment where you were like, I want to go for a run? That sounds fun.
I think I tried running in like 2020 for like a week. And I was like, oh, this really sucks.
Like during COVID?
Yeah, it just sucked. I wasn't a huge fan of it. And then my grandpa was like passing, and I like sat down with him a couple of times, and I was just asking him like, what do you kind of regret? You know, like what's the thing you wish you did in your life? And he was like, he just wished he challenged himself more. You know, he's pretty comfortable in life, like very wealthy and very well off, but never really like took that extra step. And he's like, yeah, I wish I would have ran at least like a half marathon. And I was like, I bet I could do that. And so that kind of just like jump started it. I signed up for like the closest marathon to him, which was the Santa Barbara Marathon. Went and did that, had a blast doing that. And then kind of just kept progressing, going further and further.
So when you signed up for that marathon, how far out was the marathon from the time you signed up?
Half marathon, I think I had like 8 weeks.
Yeah. Okay, so and with no running at all?
Just sitting on the couch and never ran 2 miles in my life.
So how did you train in that 8 weeks leading up to that first big run?
I Googled how to run a half marathon in 8 weeks. Okay. And it shot me to like the Nike training app. And so I kind of like went through that and just fast forward it, kind of like, you know, I think it's a 16-week program, and I kind of just condensed into 8 weeks.
Yeah.
And yeah, I kind of had a lot of success doing it, you know. It was a lot of fun. Was able to like go back and tell my grandpa like, hey, I did it, you know.
Yeah.
So
that's cool. Before has he passed now?
Yeah, he passed like maybe I would say like 2 months after that. So pretty pretty.
That's cool. That's inspiring. That'll definitely get you started.
For sure.
But like day one, you're like, all right, I'm gonna train, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna get out. You get off the couch and you head out, you lace up whatever shoes you got. I mean, starting from scratch, you know, you don't have all the gear.
I think I was wearing like some Solomon hiking shoes.
Yeah,
you know?
okay.
And then if you look at like my Strava, it's like from my grandpa's house, it's like, I think I had like a 6-mile run, right? And I would like maybe went like 4 blocks down the road and back over and over and over. Cause I was like, man, what if I end up dying? Like, well, I'm 4 blocks away. Cause I was just so out of shape, you know?
Oh
so
my
I'm
God.
like, what if I'm 4 blocks away and like, that's as far as I'm comfortable with running back.
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
kind of scary that first time. You're like, what happens if I pass out? You're like preparing all these things. Yeah, what happens if I get hurt, if I hurt my leg? Because I'm not used to this. That's also kind of cool that you had Strava on day one.
Yeah.
I didn't even know about Strava.
Like, again, I'm like, how do you run a marathon?
Yeah, Strava like, comes up.
Shoes, Strava, Nike,
shoes, Strava,
Nike training
those are the basics.
And I was like, I think I got this.
Yeah, dang. And so that was in 2020. Right?
That was in 20. I think the first marathon was in 2022. 2023 was the first half marathon. In 2020, I tried doing it the first time and completely
it didn't
failed.
work.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
that failure that kept you away from trying again for a little bit.
Oh, for sure. I failed at running, went straight to the bike shop. I was like, I think I'm going to become a biker.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh
I
man.
suck at running.
Sorry, all you cyclists out there, but you're just failed runners. Just kidding. Just kidding. We love you. Yeah. So okay, we're in 2023, and you're 8 weeks out from the marathon. You train, you go do it. What was I know how it was for me the first time I ever ran any race, and it was a 5K, but like take me through like that day. You show up there, you're in Santa Barbara for one thing, so you're far away from Humboldt.
For sure.
Totally different environment to run in. And butterflies, it just kind of like, oh my God, how am I doing? Can I really do this? Had you even run like a practice half?
No. I'd never. Yeah. I think the farthest I'd ran before that was probably 8 miles or so. And so day before, all the butterflies, not sure I probably brought so much water with me on this run. Had no idea what to expect, I kind of just like went for it, and I would say like mile 1 through 6 was like totally fine, like I'm like, this is a breeze. And then I would say 6 to 13 kind of sucked. But finished it.
It
was huge.
Yeah.
Super packed race.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful course. They only do a half marathon. It's like they don't do a marathon that day. And so you just have thousands and thousands of people. And I remember like Googling it the night before, like how fast these people run. And I guess the record was like a 5:05 like minute pace.
Don't do that, by the way. You can Google it, folks, but if you do Google that, beware that like the comparison game in running is just ridiculous. Don't do it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's people out there that do insane stuff, and I think a lot of times you try to live up to that, and it's just not happening.
No, it was not a good idea. Yeah. I think I came in like well above my time, because I was but out the gate way too quick. Last half of it sucked, but finished it. So
you started out like just like, oh, I'm gonna sprint this
entire
totally.
thing.
I feel like when I first started it was the same thing too, because I started about the same time, and when I went out for that first training run, and that first time just getting back to running or whatever, I thought you had to sprint, and I sprinted for a month until finally someone said, you're supposed to just kind of run at a conversational pace. I was like, no,
that's
like
way
just
too
do
slow.
it. And I was like, so then I was like disciplining myself to go slower, but then I was like, oh wait, That's the whole thing, right? If you slow down, you can get more distance. You actually don't have to stop and walk for all this time. You can actually run,
Yeah, people call it running, but it's a lot of speed walking involved.
Speed walking, for sure. So, okay, so you finished the Santa Barbara half marathon. You're feeling good. How did you? So that was in August. Did you say?
I think that was in summer, July, August. I don't remember
of
what
2023.
2023. Yeah.
So Raccoon Run Club wasn't even a thing yet.
No.
So how did you find Thomas, Westy, Raccoon Run Club, and shout out to all those boys?
The best. I would say I found out by them from some random girl at the bank.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
you found out about Thomas from some
random girl at the bank.
Yeah, totally.
And he led a run club. So she would just see me running like loops around by the pet store, and she one day was just like, "Hey, there's this run club in Arcata you should check out." And I'm like, man, I don't know about run clubs, And she's like, "No, they're really cool." And I'm like, "Again, I don't know about these run clubs. I'm kind of a solo guy."
Right.
And ended up just, driving down to see what it was. First thing they did was Beef Loop, and the worst trail known to man. Shout out West. And I start going, and I'm dying. It's like the first big hill.
Was this in March?
Yeah, I think it was March.
Because I think we came to Raccoon Run Club the same first time.
Yeah.
And because it was Beef Loop for me too.
It was miserable. And Tom looks back at me and goes, How often do you run trails? I'm like, first time. Dying. Never ran a trail in my life.
Yeah, dude.
That kind of just, it was a great introduction. And I asked him afterwards, does every trail that you guys run suck this bad?
Yeah.
He's like, no, this is the worst. And
that was the worst of it.
It's the worst.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, Beef Loop is in Sunnybray. It's normally it's like a 3-ish mile loop, but with Raccoon Run Club, we start at Murphy's Market and meet there. And so we get an extra mile up to Beef Loop and an extra mile coming back from there. So it's a 5-mile run, but it is a lot of vert for Humboldt County. And it's a lot of uphill. And when I ran it, I made this stupid mistake. I Google things with running and blah, blah, blah. And so I said, oh, you're supposed to eat a lot of carbs before you run. So literally 45 minutes before I'm running out the door to go to this thing, and we had to wear a Hawaiian shirt. So I was scrambling to find a Hawaiian shirt, and I ate a bunch of pasta, and I'm scrambling to find a Hawaiian shirt, and I find this old Hawaiian shirt. I love the photo because I just recently saw the photo from that day.
Okay.
Yeah, they just posted it the other day on Raccoon Run Club's Instagram. And here I am in these ridiculously big shorts. I got this really small hat, and I look and I'm just in the photo, I'm not even
you just fit in perfect with them.
And I roll up, so my wife's dropping me off, and she's like, wait, you're going to run with a bunch of 20-somethings? Because here I am, I'm 40 at the time, maybe 46, 45, whatever. And they're like, she's like, you're gonna just run with all these randoms, and what's with the Hawaiian shirts? I was like, I don't know. We're told to wear a Hawaiian shirt, so I show up, and like I said, we ran the Beef Loop. Running out to Beef Loop, it was pretty much challenge. But man, when we started going up, and that pasta was still in my gut, I hadn't even digested. I was like, oh God, I can't breathe, and I'm trying to run through this. And I think I said the same thing. I was like, are they all like this?
Yeah, they all suck this.
Thomas is like, no, it's way better.
It's funny too, because when you get there, Thomas is real about it. He's like, it's a little challenging.
Yeah.
And then West is like, oh, it's the best thing in the world. It's super easy. Yeah. You'll be fine. And so it was like the devil and angel. And I was like, oh man, this sucks. Thomas was totally right.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So Thomas Nolan and Westwood are the co-creators, the co-founders of the Raccoon Run Club. And for those of you that don't know, and the Raccoon Run Club is in Arcata. They meet usually at the Jog and Shop at 6:30, and they'll run the Forest Loop, which is through the community forest, awesome 5-mile loop, so fun. They run a Marsh Loop, which is a little more flat, and they run that one quite a bit just because there's a lot of new runners and people that are just kind of getting into it. And that one's a loop out to the marsh over Oxidation Pond and back, super fun. And then sometimes they do the Beef Loop, which is a little more challenging, where they meet actually at Murphy's, and then they run up to Beef, always at 6:30 every Monday. It's happening as we're recording this right now. It is a Monday, so they're going to be running think the Marsh tonight.
Marsh Loop, yeah.
And you can always check them out on Instagram at Raccoon Run Club. So that was 2024 that we joined.
Yeah,
we both joined around March, and we met each other around that time. And And I don't want to stay on the run club culture thing for just a second. I mean, run club culture, that's what I call it, is amazing. And it's really growing in Arcata. I mean, you could attest to this.
Huge, yeah.
It's just like, yeah, there's Raccoon Run Club. That's the ultimate. That's the pinnacle. And for me, that's my favorite run club. But there's several other run clubs in Humboldt County that are just amazing popping up. And here in Humboldt, we're not in a big city. We're like 5 hours removed from like San Francisco, where there's probably 15, 20 different run clubs. But it's growing here. And particularly ultra running is growing here a lot. Distance running, trail running is growing here. Amazing. It's growing all over the world, really. And once you go do a deep dive of it, it's just mind blowing. You're like, oh man, I want to do this. I want to do that.
Oh, it's so addicting.
So that's going to lead us into this next year that we're going to talk about here is like, so we all show up at Raccoon Run Club around the same time as 2024. And the influences in the club are it's wild. Like you're just hooked because everyone's just so nice. Like you said, everyone's like super cool. You got Westy and Thomas, and all the other people that show up too. They're just so encouraging that they're just going out there and doing 50Ks, 100Ks, 100 milers, doing all these crazy things. And you're just like, it's overwhelming. You're like, man, I want to step into some of this, but I didn't think that that's what I want to do. I thought I just wanted to run a marathon like you, or a half marathon.
For sure.
And so when you were just talking about your half marathon story, I was thinking of the first time I ever ran a half, just a run in Arcata. Like I remember running and just wanting to not stop at my usual time, and I kept running. I did another loop of what I would normally do. I remember getting back to my truck, and I didn't have a watch at the time. I just had my phone, and I looked down, and it said 13.2 or 13.1, which is a half. And I remember like almost I did bawl. I'll be honest. I did cry a little. I was like, what the hell? I can't believe I've ever done that in my life. Never thought it. And that really propelled me to want to actually sign up for my first marathon. And so you did your first marathon just about the same time I did.
Yeah, I think it was like June.
You were June and I was April.
Okay.
But you did yours in
Maybe it was
Eugene.
April. I did it. Yeah. Yeah, it was in April. Yeah.
It was right after. So I did mine on the 13th, which it's coming up on 1 year. Actually, the Bend Marathon, I think, is this weekend coming up. So you did Eugene. So let's talk about that. What made you go to the next level and sign up for the full?
I think I just, like when I crossed the finish line of the half marathon, it like felt great.
Already?
But I was like, I just need to find something else, something a little bit longer. And I kind of just was looking at, places that were close to us, but I didn't want to, I think we had done like the Avenue 5K or something. So I was like, I don't want to run that course again. And so I kind of just stumbled upon Eugene. I've got family up there and stuff too. And so, amazing race. Like you start in the field and
lots of people, right?
Oh, I think there was thousands. I think there was like 15,000 people.
Whoa, 15,000?
It's a huge. Don't quote me on the number, but it's huge. And you start in the Oregon Ducks field and you end on the track, so it's huge. And
oh wow,
I think we had to get there at 5. I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah,
my wife's uncle drops me off. I've got like, I didn't even know drop bags were a thing. So I'm wearing like, booty shorts and a cut off top, and it's freezing. Everyone else is dressed up, for success, and I'm freezing in the corner.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, it was such a good race. I think I underdid it. I ran pretty slow, had fun, hyped up the crowd, I did that one. I kind of learned don't go too hard out the gate, and so I just concerned myself the whole time and finished in front of, my family, my friends. And that was a huge pinnacle for me.
Big
I was
time,
like running a full marathon is something I never thought I would do.
Right.
Ever, And so when I finished that, I was like, I can do anything,
Did you cry a little bit?
I think when I got home, I did for sure.
Oh, you held it in?
I did, yeah. I had a bunch of family and friends around,
Yeah.
It was cool seeing my son had to have been 2 or 3. I think he was 2.5.
Wow.
And so like seeing him like crossing the finish line, like there's videos of him like screaming at me, and like when I was finishing, I was kind of like watching it through his eyes, and I was like, oh, it's so cool, and then he asked me like casual, how was your run? And I'm like, run, this was a marathon. Come on.
Like, way different.
Way different. And
that's cool. Like that, we're talking like just about a year ago, not even quite a year ago, you were doing this.
Yeah. I think in like a week or so, it's a year. Yeah.
I'm just trying to set this up for
April 26th, I think is when it was.
Okay. Yeah. I'm trying to set this up for everybody because we're going to get more into it because it gets crazier from here.
It gets worse and worse.
It gets worse. So like you also, I ran a marathon maybe 2 weeks before that, in Bend, and it was hard. It was really just it was excruciating. Like, I knew I trained, I got a coach beforehand. I went through a training plan. Shout out to Aaron Stacy. And he coached me through up to it, and, we got out there. One thing I underestimated was the elevation difference between living on the coast where we're at sea level and then going up to Bend where it's, I think, at 3,500 feet. And I was doing great too until like mile 20, and I saw my family and I waved and I was like, oh, I'm going to crush it. Just 6 more miles. I should finish. And everything just friggin' fell apart at like mile 22.
Yeah.
And
the wall.
Then I saw a situation where another guy who lived up there who had been training on that course was just falling over, like done. And I was like, dude, what's going on? And he's like, dude, I'm dead. I can't even finish this. And I like sort of kind of talked him back to life and got him up on his feet. And I was like, let's just walk for a little bit together and talk and just, shoot the breeze. So we started cruising. We got a mile walking in. He's like, oh, I feel like I can maybe run like a half a mile. Let's time a half a mile. So we do run a half a mile, do walk another half. And then he just, his mood just started to change. And my mood was kind of like, and then he's like, you know what? I think I'm going to finish. I'm going to take off, bro. I'm like, go for it, bro. I can't be with you right now. I'm still debating if I'm going to bail out of this thing. Mile 23 comes along and I'm like, all right, call Aaron, my coach. And I'm like, Aaron, I'm screwed, dude. I'm at mile 23. My legs hurt so bad. I didn't know what pain from running was like.
For sure.
I didn't know how to interpret it. Like, am I injured? And what I learned is like, no, there's a threshold. There's a certain level where it's pain, but it's temporary and you're going to get over it, dude. You just got to go finish this thing. Or it's like, yeah, this is...
Sometimes it's a fine line.
It is a fine line. It's always a fine line. And I've learned how I can manipulate that and knowing when I'm going to be injured or when I'm just going to have a little bit of pain for a day, And so that was just a little pain for a day, but it was new to me. So I was freaked out. And the only thing he said, I was like, dude, I don't know. I think I'm going to quit. He goes, you need to shut the F up, get off the phone with me right now and finish this fucking thing. And I said, all right, fair enough. 10-4. Hang up the phone, start cruising. Still having a tough time. I'm coming over this little trail, and this old guy, swear to God, maybe I just saw it and maybe it wasn't real, but I'm pretty sure it was real. This old guy with a walker just comes flying up the freaking trail, like with a little walking cane, just like bump, bump, going faster than I'm going. And he's like, oh, you're almost there. How people always do that in a race. I hate that, but they're like, you're almost there. You're almost there. And I was like, son of a... All right, I got to finish this thing. Yeah. So I just cruised out, finished. My family's sitting there waiting for me like, dude, what the hell? You're 5 hours into this race. We thought you were going to be like a 4.5, 4, whatever.
Yeah.
And I finished, but I did cry. And I was like overwhelmed because it was just like something that had been on my bucket list for like years. And then I totally shelved it because I was like, I'll never run again. I'm too old for that. But I finished it. You finished. We got our marathons in April. We come back. We're running more run club. We're doing more things. Yeah. And what do you know? Like you said, you get done with one of these races and part of you's like, I'm never doing that shit again. And then part of you's like, when's the next one I'm signing up for? And how long, I want to ask you, how long was it until you said, I guess it wasn't announced yet, but when you decided you were going to do an ultra?
I think it was like, I probably didn't run for like a week or so after that marathon,
Okay, yeah,
and then
same.
I remember like getting back to the run club for the first time, and Thomas and Westy were hyping me up. You just did I've only known these guys for like a month.
I know. They're like become your Insta best friends.
They
just add water.
You up, and they're like, "When's the ultra?" And I was like, never.
Oh.
And I don't even when was the Sonoma 55K? When was that? October.
October, yeah.
Yeah. So from April to October, I probably had signed up in June.
I think I did too.
Yeah, we probably influenced each other and signed up at the same
deal.
time.
Yeah, it's exactly what you said. Like hanging out with those guys, and they're like, sign up for ultra. Aaron too, my coach, was like, you're gonna do ultras, dude. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I think I just wanted to do this marathon and maybe another one down the road, but I don't think so. He's like, no, man, you're gonna do an ultra. I'm like,
There's something about the dirt, man. It's so much better than the pavement.
That's what he said. He said that. Plus, he's like, dude, let me just let you on a secret. Where it's not like we're going out and running these 35, 40, 50 mile races the whole time. We're hiking. Yeah. We're chilling. We're hitting aid stations. Yeah, we're 100%. Having fun with it, It's a mental game, is what he really told me. And I did sign up for an ultra in July, and then of course DNF'd it because I got lost. So
I remember that.
There's a lot of learning in this stuff. When you get into the ultra world, it's there's just a lot of learning because you're mostly on trails. Most of the ultras are trail runnings, way different than marathons.
And you're normally by yourself out there on the trail. That's
yeah.
that's the big difference. I feel like it's a lot more solitude.
But I would say that like even after I had to DNF that race, I had the best thing about that race, and I'm going back to run it again this summer. The best thing about it for me was just all the amount of phone calls and support I got at the end. Like I was feeling pretty shitty. I was like, dude, I didn't DNF because I was hurt.
Yeah.
It was a stupid error that I went the wrong way because the trail markings weren't as good, but it's really my fault. I should have downloaded the map, and I ended up going like 9 miles in the wrong direction on the PCT, and then I had to go 9 miles back, and I couldn't find it, so I had to literally, you know the story, but I had to literally, I had no reception on my phone because I was in the Sierra Mountains, and I had maybe 2% bar on my phone. It was about to die, so I 911'd it in so they could search and rescue, could find me. Even though I was totally not hurt, you know, and I was 15 miles into the race, so I was like halfway done, and I'd done all the climbing. So I stood there, and they were like, "Don't move. We need to get your coordinates." I didn't move. I had to stand there for 2 hours. And I remember making a couple of videos on my phone, just telling myself how much an idiot I am.
Yeah.
You're an idiot. You blew it. You came all the way out here. You paid all this money. You came out here. You were so stoked. You were crushing it. You were, I don't know how fast you were, but you were doing a really good job, all this stuff. And now you're done. You're freaking done. God, and I look back at that video a lot. It's kind of inspires me.
Yeah.
So anyway, these two old dudes, like 75-year-old dudes, come flying out of the woods and find me and take me back. And I had a really interesting conversation with a police officer on the way back. And he was like actually the first person I don't want my wife to know this. Well, she knows now, but like we had just found out we were pregnant and we weren't telling anybody.
Yeah.
Because we weren't even sure what we were going to do.
Yeah.
This is our fourth kid. We were just like, oh my God, this is crazy. And I remember telling him the story. Like he's like, you know what's funny? My wife is the same age and we just had our fourth kid. And it was like, we linked and we had like a nice 45-minute conversation that was like on a whole nother level, dude. It was like so incredible. He actually texts me every now and again. Is like, hey, how's your life going? I'm like,
sweet.
He's like, great,
so
great job.
You were meant to fail that one.
Yeah, somehow.
100%.
That's what I'm getting at. Is I was meant to fail that. I was meant to learn from that. Like I always talk about failure being a learning curve. I mean, it's not an end. A lot of people will be like, I failed at running. I'm never going to run again. I went and tried to do a marathon. I broke down. I'm never going to try that again. You know, I just know they put limits and limits and limits and limits. And when you start to break through those limits and realize you have more in the tank than you ever thought, then you become an ultra runner.
For sure.
Because
100%.
then you can see yourself doing it. And like, yeah, so when I got done, I was kind of driving home feeling sorry for myself. I got phone calls and texts from everybody at the Raccoon Run Club. All these people just calling me. Just people saying, hey, man, how would it go? And I know you DNF'd. I saw your Strava or whatever. But, man, just way to go out there. It's your first time, man. Don't get down on yourself. Don't get discouraged. Immediately got home, signed up for the California Classic.
Yeah.
And in that one, I was so stoked because we ran it together.
For sure.
So we were never out there alone. Yeah. It was like super fun. We were going through all the challenges side by side, which was crazy.
The lows and the highs.
You know, so let's talk about that one a little bit before we get into the crazy meat, which gets even more intense.
Yeah, I would say like the Fall Classic, the 55K was like definitely more my style of running, you know, slow, eat as much food as you want.
Yeah, lots of food.
Drink lots of water. You're not really like comparing yourself to others. You're out there just to like kind of have fun and challenge yourself. And so I feel like that's really what, you know, if you would have asked me mid-race, I probably would have said, I'm never doing this again, you know, but after the race and that whole weekend kind of turns into a little party with everybody.
It was a party.
That's when it really stuck. Like this ultra thing is definitely what I want to do. I had kind of gotten a coach at that same time too. And I think afterwards, I think I was scheduled to run another marathon pretty soon. I called her like right after and was like, I'm never running on the roads again. Like this trail thing's like, and my coach Alicia's like, she runs the 200s, you know, she's a complete badass. And she was like, I told you, like once you run on the trails, you're hooked, you know? And that's when it really stuck in my head that like, this ultra running thing is actually really cool. It sounds crazy to say you're going to go run 30 plus miles, but once you start doing it, it's so much fun.
I mean, what a trail too we ran on. So this is the Lake Sonoma 55K, the California Classic that we ran in October.
So hot.
Hot. I mean, for October too.
So hot.
Way hotter than Humboldt. Not a lot of shade on the end of the race, really. Remember, I
mile
think we were
13 on. It's you're in the wide open sun,
exposed. Yeah. Yeah, and just like, so we took off at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
So we're in the dark. It's a little cooler to start, and headlamps and whatnot. We wait for the sun to rise around 7-ish or whatever, and like slowly rising over the lake and getting warmer about 9 or 10. And I think it was like, I don't know. I think it was like around noon or 1. We were just baking, and we found that little like horse trough.
Oh, yeah.
We got that photo
Saved
of
my
us.
life.
We both just sat in this horse trough, like just kind of like a cold plunge, but not even cold enough, and just kind of like cooled down.
And the winners of that race had already like done their turnaround, that were doing the 100K.
Yeah.
And they're running right past us, like full on sprinting.
Oh yeah, I mean, we were last place just about in this race, but we finished.
Laying in the horse trough, and they're just laughing at us.
Yeah, like, what's up with these guys? These guys are total noobs.
That was a good race.
It was so fun, man. And we like you said, it's a party. Like there was food at every aid station, just everything you could eat, and you were so hungry. And like the cool thing is we got done, and there was also a 100K that was going on at the same time. They basically took off an hour before us, and our friends were running it. So we just basically finished at, I don't know, 5 o'clock, something like that, 4:30. When did we start?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, we finished around then.
Yeah.
And our buddy Thomas Nolan, he was kind of emceeing the whole thing as runners were coming in. And I also remember coming in and giving him the hugest hug and being like, "You son of a, you got me into this. Look what you did to me." But like, yeah, and he brought us like, I don't know how many bowls of chili. We were on a record pace.
Yeah,
like
I think you crushed at least 5 bowls.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he kept saying 9 or 10, but he was exaggerating. I definitely had like 5 or 6. I don't know, a bunch of bowls of chili, eating food, just sitting there on those pillows, just watching the runners come in. It was a cool experience to watch the 100Kers come in, because you could just see all the excitement for some of the people. It was like their first big race like that, and watch them come in. I think at one point a mom came in and her kids were waiting up all night for her to come in.
Yeah.
And we waited all night for our boy Tom Davies.
Yeah.
Right.
That was a midnight finish.
He was a late finish. Yeah. And obviously we waited for bunch of other people that we had. Livia was running. Yeah, she came in. She laid right down. She's like, "Oh,
gnarliest feet I've ever seen."
Well, none of us, Damian and I, had never been in this environment where we'd seen ultra runners finishing big races like this, and this is our first experience with like seeing the looks on their faces and like
the pain
and going, "Well, we really want to ever sign up for some shit like this? This is out of control." But little did we know.
Fast forward.
Oh, let's also talk about like as we were coming back from that weekend. I think we were like in and out getting a bunch of burgers. We had like so many burgers that weekend, or maybe that was a training run.
That was that week. Yeah.
And we were coming back, and our buddy Kobe was running, and we ended up FaceTiming him for his last few miles. Shout out to Kobe. He's out in Peru. He's doing the Peace Corps for 2 years in the Peru. I actually just texted with him the other day, but maybe I can get him on the podcast too via Peru. But he had crushed and finished his race, and we kind of supported him through his miles, which he always says, you guys were the greatest. Thanks for doing that. And what do we know? A couple weeks later, we're running around, and I remember him saying, "Oh man, I might run like a big one, like 100K or 100 mile in a few years. I might be ready for that." And I just smiled. I was like, "A few years? Yeah, right, dude."
Fast forward a couple weeks.
Thomas and I had been talking loosely about, Thomas runs all over the place, and him and Westy had run from Arcata to Crescent City like a year before this. And I was like, "Man, what would it be like to try and run up the border, all the way to the Oregon border from Arcata? It's like a little over, right around 100 miles. I was like, that'd be fun, And when we started planning, we thought we'd be able to do it through trails, but it turned out trails
huge storm.
weren't going to be. Yeah, huge storm comes flying through Arcata. Huge, if you remember back in November of this last year. And then all of a sudden you jumped on, and you're like, "I want to do it." And I was like, "Oh, hell yeah." And then like Kobe jumps on, and I'm like, "Dude, he's never done 100. First of all, he's never done a 100 miler anything at that point, and he'd never been to the state of Oregon.
Never been to Oregon.
So that's how he's going to arrive at Oregon for the first time.
Running 100 miles.
Running 100 miles. Then Max joined in, Austin joined in, Westy joined in. It was a crew.
Yeah, I think there's 6 of us total.
Yeah. So
6 of us, and then you and Elliot.
And of course, I didn't end up going because the week before we were on a little training run for it with me, you, Kobe, and Thomas, and I got hurt. Got a little IT band issue that crept up to my knee and really freaked me out. So you got to know when is when. And that was definitely an injury moment that I had to be real patient for, over a month to kind of rehab it. And luckily it hasn't creeped its way back into my system, but I ended up just crewing you guys, which was so fun. And Elliot came and he filmed the whole thing.
Yeah.
And the whole time I was crewing that weekend, I was dealing with like a tooth that had to be pulled, so I was like in excruciating pain, just chugging water, trying to do whatever I could to taking drugs, whatever I had to do to get the pain out, and crewing you guys. And so from my perspective, it was just amazing to watch your faces all the time. And I know there's going to be film of this coming out soon, but like, see, these guys, what they went through is they couldn't run down trail, really. I mean, they ran some of the Hammond Trail, but they couldn't really run a lot of trail. So they were on the highway. They're on the 101. And for those of you that know the 101 up north here, there is not a lot of shoulder at all. There's not a lot of room to move around. I mean, you guys had truck drivers honking horns at you, trying to run you off the road, plus splashing you probably with all the water. You're running through a torrential downpour, like crazy, like cyclone.
That was probably the worst weather I'd ever seen, let alone running through.
It was an atmospheric river.
Yeah, it was miserable.
Yeah.
It was so much fun, though.
Which is just insane. You guys had, your feet were just like soaking wet, your bodies are soaking wet. I remember you guys rolling into Oric, which is only about 35 miles into the run, about a third of the run. And you run, and shout out to Tom Davies, who also ran with you from Trinidad to Oric, and then his wife brought you guys chicken noodle soup.
Oh, that's what saved me.
Just macking the chicken noodle soup in Oric
right in front of the Oric market.
Yeah.
That was the highlight of the whole run.
The sleepy town of Oric. Just didn't know it hit it. And then cruising through, I remember you coming through, what was it, Drury Parkway?
Newtonby Drury. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, Newtonby Drury. Coming through like where Prairie Creek is, and just being wet and miserable, and realizing you still had to run to Klamath to get to the hotel, which you only really slept in for like, 5 hours maybe?
Yeah, I would say we laid down for 5 hours. I don't know how much sleep there was.
So insane.
Yeah.
And then we cruised up to Crescent City to see you the next day, and then went back, and then came back again to see you guys at the end. And it was just like so insane, because I can't imagine just watching you guys. Like, it seemed like it was a lot of pain, a lot of suffering, a lot of tough times, but it also looked like it was just immense joy to have everybody around you supporting you, your friends. Like, take me through some of like your experience of it.
Yeah, that was of all the runs I've done, that was probably my favorite one so far.
Yeah.
Just because it was like, one, it was free. We paid for a hotel room. Shout out Thomas.
Yeah.
But it was free, and at our age, very rarely do you get to spend time with like 6 of your friends,
right,
let alone just like taking off. And it was right before Thanksgiving. I had to be in Crescent City for Thanksgiving anyways. Kind of what made me jump on board. I'm like, let me run it.
Why not?
A couple of huge highlights of that run were Agate Beach. We're just, getting to Agate Beach and being like, man, that was a long haul, but we still got 60 miles left.
Yeah.
And I ended up quitting in Crescent City. Like, I stopped in Crescent City and let them, and they finished the rest of it.
It's only like 10 miles shy or something. That's no big deal.
It was
you ran it.
And running Newtonby Jury at nighttime with the roads closed because of the storm, we saw those giant salamanders. There were so many highs, but there was some definite lows.
Yeah.
There was moments of that where I was like, I'm never doing this again. I told Thomas and Colby, I said, the next car that pulls over, I'm getting in, and they're taking me. I don't care who it is.
Yeah.
Colby looks at me like I'm crazy, and there's this little convertible that pulls over, and I go, which way y'all going? And they're like, south. I'm like, fuck, I'm going north.
Oh my God.
But it was so much fun.
That's so
It was
cool.
just a mission, but it was so much
total mission. And you said highs and lows, that it can't be any more accurate. And when this video does come out, when Elliot finishes it, you're going to see like there's moments where they come up and they're just like jumping up and down, like, hey, how you guys doing? And the next time, like, hey, you guys doing?
It's kind of funny too, because everybody goes through different lows at different times.
Right. Yeah.
So like, Max and Austin are just freaks,
Really?
Neither one of them had ever run 100 miles before.
Right.
And they were in highs for hours. And while they're going through their highs, I'm crying in the back, like, I want to be home.
You had the orange hat on too, so like you could be seen. You're like the tallest guy with the orange hat in the crew,
miserable.
And Kobe's like the shorter guy. And you guys are it's all different people just running with their packs, and like, we were pulling up. I remember Ellie and I are pulling up. We'll because we're just gonna like drive up and we'll see you, but it's like through the storm, we're coming. There they are, check them out, because we could catch you by the orange hat.
Yeah.
And there they are, just all 6 of them, just on the shoulder of this I mean, if you all know, when you drive up to Crescent City, it's like no room.
Every time a car was coming northbound or southbound, we'd yell, "Rig!" And all of us would go, "Rig!" Like, oh, yeah. No, we looked like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, just like going down the highway. It was brutal.
So
it
good.
was brutal. Kayla's dad says it really funny, and my wife, because they came and brought us coffee and breakfast the next morning. And we're at the hotel room in Klamath, and he opens the door and he like gets a little like set back, and I'm like, "What's up, Jay?" And he's like, "It smells like a convalescent hospital in this room, but it's full of young people." He's like, we just smelled. We ran for 60 miles. We smelled horrible.
Oh, it's horrible.
Everything was wet,
I gotta say though, because Elliot and I took all your gear and we moved it up to that hotel room that night, ahead of you guys, and we were putting it all away for you. Must have taken like 4 or 5 trips. They were like in the 5th trip, the lady was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, do you guys need a little
dolly?"
Yeah, a little dolly. Oh, that'd have been cool. Like, I don't know, 5 trips ago, we brought all your stuff up, and every time we went in that room, first of all, that room started off smelling.
Okay.
All right, so like it was already funky. It was like old man funky. Like,
we just added to it.
Yeah, it was like Scotch and cigar old man funky.
Yeah.
And I was like, so maybe their running stench is actually going to be a good thing for this room and like really christen it, but. I mean, I can't even imagine.
It was so
you
bad.
mean 6 of you guys in there.
Six of us on a 2-bed, 2 little queen size. And, I don't even think Austin took his clothes off. I think he just like laid on top of the bed and just fell asleep just like that.
Woke up, went right back at it.
That was fun.
It's wild. And so then you guys get through your next day. You're in Crescent City. We all kind of meet up there before we get to Crescent City. Those guys keep cruising and they get through up to Smith River. Me and Elliot go back and then realize, they're going to finish a lot sooner than we think. We come back again, and I think they ended up at the border at like 9 o'clock at night, something like that.
8:45.
And I remember driving everybody home in my truck. Everybody was just like, dropping everybody off one by one and like getting home. And like, oh man, I was up all night that night with my tooth anyway, so I didn't go to bed till like 6 in. But what an adventure. And like, I just like so proud of watching everybody complete this mission, and just so like I had a lot of FOMO. I won't lie. Definitely. I'm going to try to run it back this summer and hit the trails as much as possible to get up there. But I'm constantly on Strava, like trying to design the trail. See it like, why doesn't it connect right here? It should connect right here, but it doesn't. But because we missed cool stretches where you could run along, Big Lagoon or Stone Lagoon and stuff, 100%. And the trails and stuff. But along the coast is the plan, or was the plan. So obviously this run was atmospheric river, terrible weather, downpours, all that stuff. But you know what? It was a good foreshadowing for what was to come.
Oh, yeah.
So here we are. This is November. Me, I'm hurt. I didn't get to run that. I thought I was going to be screwed for a while, and I was. I was out 6 weeks, and I pretty much figured I'm signed up for the Lake Sonoma 100 miler. I wonder if I can get my money back or defer it till next year. Neither were an option. So for me, I was like, well, I'm going to have to try to come back and run this. So I basically ran Lake Sonoma on like 3 weeks of training.
Next, I was in February.
Yeah, right? February 1st. February 1st. Yeah. So we go down to Lake Sonoma, and Lake Sonoma, this particular Lake Sonoma race was the first of its kind, or in many years.
Yeah, first 100 mile.
They were able to get more trail together for this, so it was the Lake Sonoma 100 miler.
Sufferfest.
And they nicknamed it Sufferfest for a reason, because it's over 27,000 feet of vert,
something like that, 24 to 27,000.
Yeah, some crazy amount of vert, up and down and up and down, and you're basically doing a loop of the lake once and a loop of the lake twice, but you're also going up to Pritchard's Peak 2 times, which is a half a marathon each time.
Yeah.
So we get there. And what happens? Lake Sonoma, by the way, never gets rain. Never gets rain. In fact, there's fires out there. It's dry, dry, dry all the time. And when we ran it back in October, it was 89, 90 degrees, whatever. Here we are. It's just, and it was nice. Literally January 30th.
It was
all
nice.
Of a sudden, it was like, I think we're gonna miss it. We're gonna be okay. And then Thomas, I remember we're running with Thomas like 2 days before. He's like, it's gonna suck. It's going to rain. And I was like, nah, I think we'll miss it by a day. It'll be great. It'll be fine. And sure as shit, it rained and did not stop from like the 31st to the 2nd. And it was just, I mean, talking like just downpour, and
It was like running in the middle of a river for 100 miles.
Literally, that's what it was like. Yeah. Like the rain just took it, all that dust and dirt, and just turned it into sludge and mud. And so we get out there. We left at 5 a.m.
Yeah, 5 a.m.
5 a.m.
Did the first little Pritchard's Peak loop and feeling great.
Before I even took off, like when I woke up that morning, the reality set in that like, I knew this race had been on my schedule forever, and obviously this is the craziest thing I was ever going to attempt to do. Nerves really never set in until that morning I got up, and I knew that not only we were about to go run 100 miles, we were about to run 100 miles in some shit weather, just insane circumstances. But I was really stoked that we were together because I was like, oh man, if I didn't know anybody here, I'd be even more panicked. So that kind of set me at a little bit of ease. But getting up that morning, how did you feel like when you finally, like, obviously, we're going to get a little graphic here. Sorry, folks. But when you're a runner and you're getting into a big race, the first thing you're doing after you eat a little bit of food in the morning is you thinking about how you got to take a shit, because that's just how it is. Yeah. And there's porta potties in this race all over the place, and you're like, and there's lines going on, and so there'll be all these race nerves where everyone's trying to get into the race, but there's also a line to use the shitter, and you're like, or pee or whatever you gotta do, and like everyone's got their thing,
and everyone's half naked lubing themselves up, so it's just volatile.
Yeah, just getting the lube in all the areas you can think of to not chafe, and so I was in that boat. I had to do my duty before I got on the start line, and we got there with like a minute to spare, and then we're off. How did you feel when, in those moments, in those like, 1 to 2 moments, like right before you're starting? Like, was everything just clear and you were focused?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, I'm one of those people too that like, I mean, we probably ran 600-700 miles or 1,000 miles technically to get ready for this 100 miles, and so I already kind of like rehearsed everything. But when they say go, it's like my family that's home, our friends that are, at the race, like all of that's in the back rearview mirror. All we can really do is just eat, walk, or eat, run, and drink water. That's all we can do for 36 hours, and so
basically it.
I think I wasn't really nervous. I think me and you had kind of like, we started off slow, we knew that we had to do this for 36 hours. Right. That was the plan, at least, and so.
Or we had 36 hours.
Yeah, we had 36 hours to
36
do it.
hour cutoff.
And so we took it out. We went out the gate really slow and did the, first big Pritchard's Peak, and then just kind of started the whole mission, kind of got back. And I'd say one of my favorite moments is we had done half a marathon, and we get back into the tent, and Westy grabs an Oreo and pretty much slams your mouth open and just makes you deep throat a couple Oreos.
Yeah, it's like, I don't really do okay, I don't
really do Oreos. And so from that moment on, it was just fun. That whole race was so fun. But it was, again, there's just that if we would have done that in a regular day, we would have crushed it, for sure. But that weather was just.
But man, just even going up the first part of Pritchard's Peak, which, by the way, that's the beginning of the race, so you're just going up. And it was sloppy. You were sliding. You had a headlamp on. You couldn't really see a whole lot because it was like, not only was it raining, but it was sort of foggy too in the morning. That alone is would be a race. Would it be a normal like trail race? I mean, it's like literally a half marathon for a lot of people. That's their race, And so getting to the top was like a cool feeling, but like coming down and seeing the people coming up and just like a stream of lights, like, hundreds of lights, And by the way, this race, firefighters got to run for free. So we met a lot of firefighters on the trail that had never really even run ultras or anything like that, but they got to race this for free, no race fee. So why not? And then a whole bunch of people didn't show up. I mean, they sold the race out, or I think they did. And there was probably almost 100 people that didn't even show up, probably because of the weather.
The weather was so bad.
So we're in this small group of like people just trying to survive out there on the trail. And
me, you, Aiden, and Jaden.
Yeah, Aiden and Jaden, right, from Seattle, I think, right? And,
crushed it.
And then that guy with the kilt. There was a guy that ran the whole thing with the kilt.
Yeah. Stud,
total stud. Dude, the whole thing was insane. Like I think that's also when I started to have fun too, when he threw that Oreo in my mouth, because a lot of it I was just like witness it to it. Like, this is what it's like to run something crazy and insane, and but put the weather on it, and it's even more like, man, am I really gonna finish this? Like, this is totally nuts. Am I delusional? Am I blown? I mean, I was like freaking out.
I felt delusional for sure.
Yeah, I was like, should I be here right now? This is insane. Like, my wife's in the back of my head because she was just saying like, you can always quit if it doesn't work out, or like you don't have to do this. If it's the weather's totally terrible, I'm worried about you, and for right reasons, but like going through it, I was just like, all right, we're doing this, but it was a lot of hiking. We had poles. We were like going up, we were slopping around. And then we started doing the tour of the lake, and we're just wet and we're cold a little bit when we stop.
Yeah.
And, I remember we stopped, I think it was Warm Springs or somewhere around there, one of the aid stations where they had a fire pit. That's the photo they got of me just sitting
looking
there.
All stoic.
Looking all stoic. Like, but I wasn't stoic. I was just enjoying the heat on the fire. Like, oh, this is nice.
Island view, maybe?
Island view, yeah. We had epic views, of course, even though it was raining, but we went through so much. We went through all this stuff. And then there's this little part of the race. And we're going to talk about this one. And so we're cruising along. We kind of got, like you said, you got everything mapped out in your head. I'm out here to run, drink water, eat food, get through the miles, cruise around the lake twice. Well, we're cruising around the lake. We're getting through it pretty good. And then we saw in the race, they had just added this little out and back called Falcon's Crest, right?
Falcon's Nest. Yeah.
Falcon's Nest.
Buzzard's Ass.
Yeah, yeah, totally.
Shout out, Tom.
And it was like, I thought, when I kept looking at the map, that it was just going to be a quick couple miles out, couple miles back, no big deal. This is like, we had to cross a freaking river.
Yeah.
That was like waist high.
Yeah.
Our packs are getting wet. We're like, then they ended up throwing a rope out for the way back.
Yeah.
We had to cross it twice. We're just like slopping through the mud. It's getting dark on the way back, which is really kind of sketching me out.
It was pitch black.
Yeah, it was like nuts. And we were sliding around, and I was like, oh, we got to get ready for the evening, man. Get our headlamps together. We're going to be going in it. We're going to be running all night into the morning. Anyway, we get all the way out to the top of this thing, and there's an aid station out there. It's just water, and they boated these two guys out there. So they boated them out there. I heard that, I don't know if this is true, but they said they boated them out there days before the race started, and they were just camping, because they did have camping
Yeah,
gear.
a day before.
Day before, so they're just out there camping. And we get there, and they had a bottle of
Fireball. I think it was
Fireball.
Yeah,
It was
handled
almost
Fireball.
gone
Yeah.
between the two of them. And I still don't remember if the guy actually was British or Scottish or something, because he had this accent he was talking. I thought he was joking.
I think he was. And
I started talking it back to him, because I thought he was joking. But like, this guy was just hammered, and we're coming up, and we're like, oh, we're just gonna get our water, get the heck out of here. This guy was just lit up. He's sitting around a fireplace, just bullshitting. It was hilarious. The whole thing was like, I don't know. I was also starting to hallucinate a little bit at that point.
Seeing people.
And then we come out of that. I think it was around then. Was it Falcons where you started seeing rubies, or was it before that?
That was way before, yeah.
It was before, yeah. So Damian's like, I'm behind him a little bit. We're kind of coming down this ridge, and I see him just like hunched over and like, I'm going to be rich or something like that. Look at these rubies. And I'm like, what are you talking about? There was no rubies, right?
No, just manzanita leaves. Not as exciting.
Not as exciting.
No.
And then there was another time, I think, where you saw a lizard with a top hat.
Yeah, another manzanita leaf, dude. I got to get away from these things, man.
This is what happens when you're
There's those little like newts that are everywhere, and you can see them, and I'm like, oh, that guy's wearing a little hat, but just a manzanita leaf.
It's like
on
the
his
pet
head.
shop just like came
always
in.
a part of me.
Yep, totally.
Yeah, and then we crawled out of that little section of Falcon's Nest, and
Falcons was crazy too, because we had Bobby with us.
Yeah, Bobby Chombo.
Shout out. And he said some really random, I don't know if you remember saying this, if he sees this, but he said, oh, I got this like cabin up here that I rent. We could go hang out there for a little bit, take a little break, get a shower. And I was like, wait, what? And I was telling him the whole time, like, I don't think I'm going to finish this race. He's like, nah, you're fine. I'm like, no, I think right when we get to the end of this first loop, I'm just going to quit. It's fine. I mean, I'm going to be done. I can't finish this race. Little did I know what would happen next. But like, so we keep cruising. We get through this whole thing. It's just we're like 14 hours into this race, and we get to aid station. I can't remember which one it was, but it was deep in the race. We had another like 4 or 5 miles to complete the actual loop of the lake, and so we hit this aid station. And here comes Skip, the director of the whole race. Shout out to Healdsburg Running Company. He owns a running store in Healdsburg and puts on all these crazy races in Lake Sonoma and training series and run clubs. He's amazing. Check him out on Instagram. Posts all the time. And he just basically comes in with his wife and is like, yeah, we're canceling the race. And it didn't register to me because I was just like,
not register
oh,
to
I'm
you.
quitting. It's all good. I'm going to quit. I'm just going to run these 5
You're telling
miles.
Kayla, you're like, let me get in your car.
I didn't even want to go. It's like, Kayla, can I just get in the car with you? And she's like, why don't you want to just finish? And then you don't have to DNF. I'm like, no, I am going to DNF. No, the race is canceled.
Yeah.
It wouldn't dawn on me.
It would not, yeah.
And I was like, why is the race canceled? Well, they had a bridge, Warm Springs, right?
Yeah, I think don't quote me, but I would say like 10, 11.
Yeah. Or like mile 70 if you're going through your second loop. It got washed out completely. That's how the lake, you got to understand, at this race, there's a huge lake and we're running around it. The lake was rising for days. And even that day that this race started, the lake just kept rising and rising. And it was just getting out. It was flooding. It was insane. And we were literally running through rivers. I mean, gushing water, just waterfalls.
Running
rivers.
through the middle of the river for sure.
Insane. The sound of water just constantly drip, drip, drip all the time or flowing. And so they couldn't cross at that mileage, and so they basically turned into a 100K or a 50 mile, or whatever you want to look at it. We did 52 miles of this race, and we had to call it quit. We didn't quit; the race was quit. Yeah. So we got to finish and have our finish. Turned into a 50 miler. It was still cool because I'd never run anything like that in my life.
I still have yet to run. That was I don't think I'll ever run anything like that again. That was crazy.
It felt like a 200 miler. It was so insane. I don't even know what that feels like, but. It was just insane. Yeah. It was the whole thing. So I remember getting back, finishing and eating some dinner, and then I immediately went to the truck and I realized something was really wrong. And it turned out that my balls were black and blue. Yeah, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. So that was a new sensation.
I just remember going to bed and just hearing you scream in the truck next to me.
Yeah, it was nuts. I got in the truck, closed the doors, and tried to scream into a pillow so no one would hear me. But apparently I was still heard.
It did not work.
And I was like, oh, because I saw it. I had to look. I was like, it doesn't feel right. And I looked and I was like, oh my God, I've never seen it like that. That's insane. So those are the things you go through. And not to mention, my armpits were totally chafed from my pack. My back was all scabbed up, but my legs felt all right. But that was insane. Tom comes in, gives me a blanket, or a jacket, sees if I need anything. I'm like, I'm just going to pass. I literally fell asleep 30 minutes later, woke up, felt somewhat fine the next day, except for I had to ice myself a little bit. But what an experience, man. And then that's where I wanted to go with it is here we are in that moment, you're going through that race. You're at the end of your rope on that race. For me, I was, and just being like, I'm never going to do this shit again. There's no way I'm ever going to sign up for this stuff again. There's no way I'm doing this. Yeah. Nothing like this ever again. I kept telling myself over and over again, in 2025, because it was the beginning of 2025, right? The year we're in right now. I was like, I'm not going to sign up for any races. I'm just going to take it easy. I'm probably going to, maybe I'll just bike. No offense, cyclist. Or maybe I'll do something else. I can't run anymore. I'm done. I'm over this. And I think it was so that was on a Sunday that we finished the race. I think Tuesday morning, I was like, Thomas, you want to go for a run? We went for a run Tuesday, and then I signed up for races right after that. Yeah. Including Pine to Palm, which is a 100-miler, and the La Sierra 100K. And I'm like, what are you doing to yourself,
It's a cycle, man.
What are you doing?
It's like having a kid. You forget how painful it is.
I know.
You forget how rough it is.
Right. I mean, very rough for the wife. I can't even imagine. It's probably rougher than any ultra I'll ever run. But here we are, signed up for these races again, and I still don't even know why I pulled the trigger on that or hit click on that, or I'm still like, what the hell am I doing? But here we are, and we're still going, and we've been having some adventures. You started a run streak. Yeah. Right? So how many days are you still in it?
I think I'm on day 57 of 100. Yeah.
57. You're trying to do 100 days of running straight every day.
At least 5 miles.
At least 5 miles.
Average out 5 miles.
That's insane. So you could average out about 500 miles in 100 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's no joke.
That's been harder than any ultra
5 miles for a week, it might be not too challenging, but 5 miles for 100 days, you need the rest, and it's that's got to be.
Yeah, then you throw in some 20 milers in there, and some 15
did, yeah,
15 milers. Did a pretty good 17 miler this weekend, which was pretty brutal.
Right.
And so, yeah.
So a lot of weekends ever since Lake Sonoma, there'll be a lot of weekends where Damian, myself, Thomas, and maybe a couple others will go out and do like some breakfast miles on a Saturday or Sunday or both. And we'll just run around Arcata like crazies, like 15, 20,
Like
20 some
madmen.
miles.
Yeah.
Thomas even more, and then get breakfast and run more miles and, just shuffle through. And, before you know it, they become long run days. You're just crushing miles, and that's been super fun. This is all part of the run culture experience,
It is, yeah.
And here we are, like 2 years into doing this, and it's just sometimes I don't want to look back because I'm like, it's scary, crazy how much we've done in 2 years, a year.
Yeah,
We started
sure.
running races, really, like bigger races, not even a year ago. And then you go from like that jump from marathon to ultras to signing up for big time 100-milers and like going on these crazy adventures, that we've been going on, and like, yeah, you're just like, man, you just keep on making these goals and just crushing it. And I like, for those of you who listen to this story, it's not to say that like it's all suffering. Like you said, there's the highs and lows, but I think the highs always outweigh the lows in the end.
100%, always.
I was thinking that the other day I was running with Dylan, my buddy Dylan, yesterday, and we just ran like a 10 miles. We did the Arcata Ridge Trail, and when I was just thinking in my head, like, the highs definitely outweigh the lows with running. Like, yeah, you go through lows, but you know how to embrace them. I think Thomas always said it best. He said, ride the highs, embrace the lows. And I think that's such a good way to put it. Like, the highs outweigh the lows 100%, and that's why you keep doing it. That's why you keep signing up. That's why you maybe take a day to embrace the lows, but then you sign up again and you realize that it's just amazing to be out there and crush miles and have fun, and like, that's why I got into it, and that's why I stay in it. Because when it's ever not fun, I probably would bail. But
100%.
So far, so good,
Yeah.
know? I've been able to keep a solid head about it. And I think it's also taught me mindset more than anything, like how I got more in the tank than I ever thought I would. And I wanted to ask you too, like, do you feel like some of this stuff, the running that you've done and all these moments that you've had out there, how they translate to, you're a father, how they translate you to being a father, to having the discipline to like be patient with your kid and just to be patient in your relationship and in your business as well. And like how you can work hard and grind out and like really create something for yourself. Like, you're carving out something for yourself as an entrepreneur, like nobody writes you a paycheck anymore. You do it. You're doing it. You're making the business what it's supposed to be. You're scaling it the way, and same with your family. Your family's like a business too. It's a loving business, but you're trying to, raise a child, with your partner. So could you say that like running has had a
100%.
big influence on that?
Oh yeah. I mean, like, running almost becomes an outlet for me when I need breaks, like from that kind of stuff as well. So it's kind of like two-headed, it goes both ways. But no, I remember when we ran the 55K, I was like, that's the hardest thing I've ever done.
Right.
Like, raising a kid is extremely hard, in its own ways, but like running is equally as hard in some ways.
Yeah.
And so it's just like they work together for sure.
Yeah. I feel like running has strengthened everything that my life, and I had a talk recently that went haywire, but I have a talk anyway called Being Expansive. And one thing that I really talk about or hammer on that one is the 5 F's. And you got your family, your friends, your fitness, your finances, and your faith. And I feel like running has been the catalyst for all 5 of those things to be stronger in my life. Like, for me, it's like, family is great. And I've been just enjoying and so grateful for what I have. But I just recently had a 4th child, and, she's going to be about 6 weeks old on Friday. And just running has gotten me stronger as a father. It's taught me so much resilience, but also patience, and just not to freak out about little things anymore. Like, I would always just be like, stop doing that, or what? It's like I just take a break and like realize that they're children, and we're raising them, and we want them to, and you can't screw it up. So many people, I was so scared in the beginning of like, I'm gonna screw this kid's life up. I don't know if I'm fit to do this right, but like, really what you realize is kids, they just want one thing. They just want your time. They want your attention, and they really want to be your cheerleaders too. They like see you. I mean, I thought it was such a beautiful moment when we came to one of the aid stations there, and your family was there, and you got some food and chilled out, and then Cullen was there, your son, and like
stealing everybody's red vines, you know.
Yeah, stealing everyone's red vines,
Yeah.
and just like
Yeah.
he's so intrigued and stoked for what you're doing, you know. So you're like leading by example there. That's like so important, and I think that's with me too. I try to just lead by example to be. I heard it said, what was the quote I heard, that you are teaching your family how to I can't do it right. I'll have to look it up, but it's something about you're teaching your family how to live without you, and that's a really hard thing to swallow sometimes. But that's what you are doing. You're teaching your family how to live a life, because one day they're going to be without you, and you know you want to leave an impression on your kids, you know, and on your family and what 100%. You're doing. And I think running is just such a great vehicle for that. It's taught me so much in my mind about how to slow down and be patient and be present and in the moment with my kids. So the family thing's been huge, and the friends, obviously, goes without saying. Yeah. Run club culture is all about friendships. The friends that I've made over the last, I spoke about this recently, just the friends that I've made over the last, 2 years. And I had a few people in my life that were just really miserable and just stuck. And I had to kind of like be like, enough's enough with you guys. And now I have like these friends in my life that are trying to do all this amazing things that I'm trying to do. So we're always bouncing ideas, texting each other, calling each other, going on runs, chatting about the next race or the next thing we're working on, or maybe
it even goes like deeper than that too. Oh, it's like when we're going through random shit through life, or you're having a kid, or someone's like depressed or anything. It's like this little friendship culture that we've all created is nice. Just to
that
be able to
support
bounce.
Is just amazing for me. It's just like everything for me. That like there's a currency there that's just it's just. I don't know if you can even put a value on it. It's just so amazing, It's an energy currency. It's so awesome. And like with the friends, and then with the fitness, obviously that's a no-brainer. We're out there, we're getting fit every day, we're working hard, we're all being accountable for each other, we're making sure that we get our miles in, that we do our training. Oh, maybe we got to do a little strength training here, or we got to do a little bit of this here, to stay balanced, or what are we going to do, or let's go get a sauna, or whatever it is. So fitness is obviously a no-brainer, but finance is interesting, and we don't really dive into that as much, but like you being a business owner, I'm a business owner. I know that when we hang out and talk with Thomas, he has 1,000,001 ideas of where he wants to go creatively with that. Yeah. And he's building something there behind the scenes, and a lot of our friends are building their lives post college, post whatever, just trying to do something, and hopefully being able to encourage them as business owners ourselves,
Yeah, for sure.
And they see that and leading an example there. And I would call it like business finance, almost like leadership, and just showing how to lead your way through that kind of stuff. And then faith, just having belief in each other. That doesn't even have to be a religious thing. It's just more like having faith in your friends and what they're doing. Like when our buddy Thomas just ran the Speed Project, which we'll have him on and talk about that, which is going to be incredible conversation about running from LA to Vegas, which was insane. And he called us almost every day. Basically, we were checking in with him, and we all had his back. We all had support for what he was doing. We were all like encouraging, and we had faith in him. We knew he could crush that shit. Yeah. And of course he did.
Of course.
He did it. I mean, he's done some amazing things. I've watched his journey, and I'm just like, so I just having faith in all my friends and what they're available to do. So
you got to add another F to that.
I do.
Yeah. It's got to be like finish hot tub.
Finish.
Finish sauna.
That's right. We did finish. We had a nice sauna. Finish is a big one. Finish should be another F. Like finish your race. Like run your race, but like realize with all this being said, whether it's an actual race that you sign up for, or a race or an adventure that you're going on, or hey, I want to go run 10 miles, 5 miles, 1 mile today. Just run your own race. Like it's not about being the fastest. It's not about winning some prize, because guess what? They don't really have a lot of prizes in any of these things. Like there's hardly races where there's some, but there's very few that you run for money or for any kind of real big fame. Like no one really cares. It's you against you. So run your race the way you want to run it. If you're getting into running, if you're thinking about getting into running, and you just heard Damian's story, which I think is incredible, just do you. That's what the bottom line is. Just do you. But it really will help if you get around a support system of good people that want to go places you want to go to. Yeah. That will help you get there a lot. Obviously helped us get there a lot faster. Yeah. And I'm just like, I'm proud of everything you've done.
Thank you.
It's just
mutual,
amazing, dude. It's just, and I can see it transferring over in your business and your family, with your kid. I could see it all,
Huge.
like all your things. You know, it's more than just running.
Just growth, personal growth for sure.
Yeah, personal growth, just so amazing. So I appreciate you being on.
Thanks for having me.
The first in the new reboot here.
So hey, thank you.
Yeah, appreciate you making the time. This was kind of a last minute throw together today.
Little lunch break podcast.
Yeah, well, you had a long lunch break. You better go clock back in there, boss.
Don't tell the boss.
No, I won't tell him. So we got Damian Morton on from Fin and Feather, and make sure you go check out his pet shop. It's over there in Henderson Center. Sorry, Henderson Center.
Right on
in Eureka.
Street.
Yeah, you guys know where it is. It's been there since the 50s. 60s, okay? So it's been around a long time. It's got a
couple years.
Really cool mural of pets on the side. And
great yard maintenance around there,
somebody
too.
does those hedges every now and again, so that's cool. Really nice spot. So go over there and get some dog food. You obviously have really cool deals, too. Like if you go buy certain dog food, you get like a little stamp card.
Yeah.
That's pretty rad. I got one of those. So go over there, get some dog food, or go get a dog toy. Or go check out the fish. They have lots of fish. They have do you have lizards there too?
Oh yeah, lizards and snakes.
Lots of lizards and snakes. So lots of cool stuff there to go check out. But don't drop your random pets off there. Please don't.
Pete's house.
No, yeah, my house, which is we'll get the address of the what is it, the SPCA or whatever it's called out here. I forget what it's called in McKinleyville. We'll get you the address for that. So anyway, thanks for coming and tune in I think these episodes are going to probably drop every Friday. So this is the first of many that we're going to do. And we're really stoked. And check out the Grit podcast. It's on Spotify. It's also going to be on YouTube and I think on Apple as well. So check that out. And I might have a website coming soon for it as well. But then I want to thank my guest, Damian Morton, today. And y'all be well. We'll see you soon. Peace.